everybody. Welcome to Jesus Take the Mic. I am your host, Brianna Evans, and I am here with a dear friend of mine, Brooke Chavez. How are you? It's a beautiful day.
It
Beautiful
is.
day
It's
to
a
be.
little,
This heat has been something
yeah,
in the storms. Girl,
intense.
girl. My kids run into our room every night.
Do they really?
Yes.
I had one awake after midnight last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we weren't sure if there were fireworks from the state fair or if it was thunder or
Oh,
not
yeah.
because it was like really steady. So
Okay.
Bryce and I looked at each other and we were like, oh, kid's about to come in. Every
Uh-huh.
time it's clockwork. Or we have all of them. They make beds on the ground.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ours are so spread out that like we've never had all of them at once. Each one has had a season where they will come into our room at night.
So you just have one in your bed.
So we just have one at a time. Yeah.
Girl, 4 in a bed
Is a lot.
plus 2 big dogs. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Everyone's playing Tetris on how to sleep. Bryce and I wake up and we're like, our backs hurt. It's something.
Yeah.
So you are one of the most wise people that I know.
Oh my gosh.
No, truthfully. Like every time I have a conversation with you, I just feel so encouraged
Well,
and refreshed.
well, thank you.
Where did it
I
come
can't
from?
take credit.
Well, so tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a Christian home. My parents they both had a lot of baggage from their families, and both of them, they got saved, I think like pretty soon after they were married.
Mhm.
So they both really wanted to leave that baggage behind, and they wanted to have a different upbringing for their kids. And so they raised us in church, and they both broke off a lot of generational curses that they had carried for many, many, many generations.
Yeah.
And so I see very much that me and my siblings, we didn't have to walk through some of the same battles that they did
Mhm.
because they were able to say, my dad was an alcoholic, but that's not going to be perpetuated in my family anymore. And so we just have a much healthier relationship with a lot of things that were issues in my parents' families. So, they raised us in church. They raised us to read the Bible. We memorized scripture. We did all the Sunday school things. As we were older, we were at church every time the doors were open, youth group, band practice, church on Sunday, sometimes night church too.
Oh, wow.
There was a season of life that we were really, really involved in church.
Were you exhausted or did you like it?
No, I think as young, like teenagers and adults, that was really healthy for us in that season.
Mhm.
I think as like young parents with small children, just doesn't work like that anymore. And
It's
that's
hard.
it's just where we are. I don't
And-
think there's anything wrong with it, but it's just the season of life that we're in.
It's hard. I think that when you go through your season of your young kids like that,
Mhm.
let's be real, we put God on the back burner until we really need him. Like it's hard to sit and wake up and be like, okay, thank you, Jesus. When you wake up and you have a million kids screaming or you have a million things to do and you just are rolling and rolling and rolling.
Right. You're just
And-
surviving a lot of times.
Yeah. And I have that guilt all the time where I'm like, okay, things get kind of rough. And I'm like, okay, God, now I need you. And then things get really good. And I'm like, oh, let's push you back. So I'm trying to be more intentional of that.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, how do you keep him at the center? I mean, you are young and you have kids. You're in the thick of it. You have young kids.
I think you have to. I don't think it's meant to be hard. I don't
Mhm.
think it's meant to be. I don't think he made it hard. I think it's simple. I don't think it's easy. But I don't think it's supposed to be complicated. I think it's just reaching out to him wherever you are. Like, a lot of times, I try to sit down and have a devotional time in the morning, before the kids get up and before I get interrupted. And very often that doesn't happen. But then I'm washing dishes and I'm just thinking about the Lord and I'm just praying, like, God, be with me in this day, speak to me. I need you to kind of break through what's going on in my life because I can't get out,
Right.
like there were times in my life, I remember when I would spend hours just reading the Bible and journaling and praying and just kind of soaking in his presence and just being with him. And I feel like that never happens anymore.
Mhm.
But I think that, try to be careful to like make God too like he's on my level. But I think that we go through different seasons, and I think he meets us where we are.
Mhm.
And so when we are going through a season like raising infants,
Mhm.
when you barely get enough sleep and
Mhm.
you're constantly being interrupted, you never get an hour to yourself that you can even form a complete thought sometimes,
Yeah.
without being interrupted. I think he's God,
Mhm.
he still is able to break through that noise
Right.
and be like, hey, I'm here.
Right.
I'm here and I want to meet with you and I want to talk to you. So
Mhm.
I did see a meme one time that was like, men have to go to the mountains to meet with God, and
Right.
women just wherever they are, like God is right with us. And
Yeah.
I think that there's some truth in that. I
Yeah.
think that what that's trying to say is like our lives are busy. Many of us are primary caretakers to a lot
Mhm.
of people, and God still meets us there.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, that's true. And, I've talked to a lot of women and I'm like, how do you, if you do want to be intentional with the devotionals
mhm.
and things like that, and they're like, oh, we'll get up earlier. Like, we have kids, man. Like, we're
Yeah.
tired. Like, getting up
I think there's
earlier.
room for that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like I feel like the earlier I get up, the earlier they get up.
Yeah.
So taking the opportunities that you have, like if you can get up a little earlier, or if you stay up a little later at night, or like
Shower.
my kid, right, exactly. Um, my kids will play out in the yard, and I'll find randomly 20 minutes during the day when all of a sudden the house is quiet. Maybe the baby's taking a nap and the
Yeah.
girls are outside playing, and so I'll just real quick, like, let me just sit down, take a breath.
Hmm.
There's probably 5 things I should be doing right now, but I'm just gonna take a minute and just talk to the Lord and let my soul rest for a second.
And reset a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find myself really finding that peace and talking to God when I'm in the car.
Mm.
I was just telling Bryce this the other day. I am such a sky girl. I love the sky. I
Mhm.
love it at night with the stars and the moon and everything, and in the daytime with the clouds and the sun. Like, it's just so beautiful. And for me, that's a reminder of God's beautiful creation,
Yeah.
that He is the artist, not just, of the sky and the stars and the moon. I mean, He's a creation for us.
Right.
And He created our families. He created us to have
Mhm.
families, be fruitful, multiply. And, I think that He does have grace with us too
Mhm.
in those times where we're busy.
Right.
But, it's to lift Him up and really just say, thank you for this life that you've given me
Yeah.
and these little blessings. No matter how stressed out we get or overwhelmed, there's still little blessings. And um, Bryce and I went on a little date for the first time in forever the other day. We don't get out much. And it was just him and I, and we were having a great time. And then we were like, wow, imagine not having kids. Like, what do people do?
No, I
Like,
wouldn't.
life would be boring. What's your
Yeah.
purpose? Like, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
So we just laughed and shared memories of the kids while we were trying to have a break. But that's just, you find yourself going
Right.
back to that.
You always find yourself talking about your kids anytime you're not with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I always try to be conscious of that. I'm like, wait, but we are like still a couple.
Mhm.
Like, let's try not to just talk about our kids all the time, but they just bring so much joy.
True
In
story.
the midst of the chaos, they're amazing.
Mm.
And they just and here, with them seeing our lifestyle of being in church and serving and how we rely on God and pray and really just make Him the center of our lives,
Mhm.
then they imitate that.
Mhm.
And it's so important to be such an example for your kids to be raised in that. Like, and Bryce and I, that's something that we really thank God for too, that we are able to have Him as the center of our lives so that our kids can also
Yeah.
have Him as the center of their lives. Yeah, I mean, it's so powerful, but I think sometimes we do just need to slow down and really understand
Yeah.
that it's time to slow down.
Yep.
But as parents, our minds are just everywhere all the time.
Yeah. We have to fight against that.
Mhm.
Our culture definitely pushes us to do more
Mhm.
and be more and,
Mhm.
keep up. And there's very little of it that's valuable.
Well, I think it's a lot of like the influencers too. They
Mhm.
hold a lot of that. I remember there was a time I was looking and I was just like, wow, I felt so much mom guilt because I'm like, "Oh, I'm not that patient.
Mhm.
I'm not doing this, this, and this." And I'm like, "You make it look so beautiful, but what's really going on behind the scenes?"
Right.
Because behind the scenes at my house, I'm praying, "Lord, help me get past this day."
Give me a little extra patience in this situation, please. Like, let me just
Yeah.
not shout right now.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard. And you homeschool,
I
so
do.
you don't have a break.
Yes, in the sense of my kids don't go to school during the day.
Mhm.
Sure, yeah, I don't get that break. But I find rest in other ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's a different lifestyle. I have heard people say, homeschoolers, bigger people than me in the homeschooling world. People think of homeschooling as taking your kid out of the school and then doing school at home.
Mhm.
But it's a different form of education. It doesn't look like a school day. You're
Mhm.
not sitting down for 3 hours teaching your kids, um, and you're not going from class to class. You're not carrying books. You don't need lunch breaks. You don't need recess, and so your day just looks so much different.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment
Mhm.
at first, but it's been really good for our family.
Yeah.
Really
So
good.
what is a typical, I guess it wouldn't be the same each day, would it? You guys don't really have like a
We don't have a real set in
right.
stone schedule. We kind of flex, especially with living and working on a farm.
Mhm.
We very much are kind of like different things are going on in different seasons. And
Yeah.
so with homeschooling, we have the flexibility to uh, extend the schedule, shorten the schedule, change things up,
Mhm.
include what we're doing on the farm as part of our school, things like that,
Mhm.
travel when we want to.
Mhm.
Um, so we really love that flexibility.
Mhm.
Um, we usually take a couple months off in the spring, like similar to a summer break, but
Right.
we do it in March and April and May because we are so busy
Mhm.
planting and starting seed,
But
and
that's
we've
still
got baby
school.
animals. Yeah, all that is school. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know my kids, whenever they come over to play at your house, they literally feel like it's a field trip
Uh-huh.
because the girls just like parade them around. And I
Oh, let me
remember,
show you my rabbits. Yeah.
yes. And I love you, but whew, girl, don't get me outside with those chickens.
Mhm.
I swear they could smell my fear. I remember the kids, they were like, "Oh yeah, mommy, Jojo showed us these chickens." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you could stay out there with them because your mom's not going out there." And you had a goat that was like a dog.
Yes, the goat lived on our deck for a little while.
That's
Yeah.
so wild. So you see, like, and that's your normal life.
Yeah.
That's your everyday. And then, like, for us, we're so like, I don't know. We're not, we are not farm people.
Mhm.
So that's like, it's just so fun for us to come over and see a glimpse into your life.
And we love sharing it with people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys just opened, or your family,
Uh-huh.
the lavender field.
Yes. Yeah, about 2 years ago was when
It's
we
been that
first
long?
opened, yes, to the public. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Actually, it must have been 1 year ago. So I think this is the 2nd season. So it was 2 years ago that we planted it.
And what is it called again?
Abbott's and Oak Farms in
Beautiful.
Milford, Delaware.
I love
Yeah.
it. And you
It's a
have,
beautiful place.
do you do honey too? Because you have bees.
Yeah, so my brother and his wife are the ones
Mhm.
that do the lavender and the honey
Mhm.
and cut flowers as well. My husband and I are homesteading, and then I
Mhm.
teach homesteading classes, workshops, things like that. So
So what do you teach in the homesteading classes?
everything related to homesteading, growing your own food, gardening, taking care of animals, how animals are useful, self-sufficiency, resource
So, like,
stewardship.
if there's ever an apocalypse, everyone's gonna come to your farm.
Well, that'll be a problem if that happens.
I'm
But
totally
my goal
kidding.
is, so if there is any kind of disaster that happens, or like a COVID reboot or something
Yeah.
like that, that people would know how to do more for themselves
Mhm.
than we typically do in our society. I
Right.
think that our modern day, we've just become so dependent on everything's available for me. I just have to work, earn the money, and then I just buy it all. I pay
Mhm.
for it all, which is one way to live. But then what do you do when the grocery store doesn't have what you need to buy? What do
Well,
you do when services are shut down?
and a lot of the food now too is, I mean, you hear outbreaks all the time in these
Hmm.
big grocery stores of how this can get you sick and this can get you sick. So
Right.
it's like also the quality So I'm
Right.
sure the quality that you're growing is much, much better than you
Right.
find in the grocery store. It's fresher.
When you're buying your food from a grocery store, especially a large chain, you have no control about where your food comes from, where it was raised, what it was fed, what it may or may not have been sprayed with during its lifetime, how it was harvested, when it was harvested, how long it was shipped. Food degrades over time after it's been picked. Fresh produce even is often picked way before it's ripe so that it can make it to the grocery store before it rots. And so how much nutrient quality is in our food that we're, picking up a couple weeks later on the shelf.
That's true.
So
And then all the chemicals that are also soaking into it.
right.
So what do you have to go to the store for? Like,
We still buy a lot of our food. Our
Yeah.
goal is to raise 75% of what we consume, like our family, personally for us. We're probably at about 30% right now.
that's okay.
So we have a big summer garden.
That's
We
more
grow
than most.
vegetables. We stock our freezer. We raise chickens and rabbits for meat.
You eat rabbit?
We do. Yeah. It's very good. It's quite delicious.
Oh. That would freak me out. And you know what? I don't even know why it's like this because I'm not freaked out when I eat cow or chicken.
Because you didn't have to look at the animal before you ate it.
It doesn't matter.
Somebody else raised it. Somebody else fed it. Somebody else sent it to the slaughterhouse, and somebody else dispatched it.
But if
brought it to the
you
supermarket.
cooked a meal for me and you said,
You would not know the difference.
girl, oh my gosh, I even get freaked out with seafood. I really can only eat fried shrimp and
Okay.
some like snow crab legs.
Mhm.
I don't know. Certain things just freak me out. I can't eat veal, even though that's not far off than what I do eat. I don't know. There's just certain things. You eat rabbit. Oh my gosh. What is it closest to?
Chicken.
Really?
It's very much like chicken.
like a chicken thigh. That's what I imagine.
It can be a little drier than chicken because rabbit is very lean. And also, if you buy chicken from the grocery store, it's literally 6 weeks old. It is young. A lot of companies will inject saline into it to make it juicier, more tender, plump it up. And so if you are growing your own meat in general, you have to cook it with that in mind. It's not going to be quite as tender, quite the same flavor profile. So there's a little bit of a learning curve there. But then rabbit compared to chicken, it can be a little drier just because it's not as fatty a meat. But you just cook it low and slow.
So like a crock pot type deal?
Yeah, crock pot, oven.
Do you do deer?
I eat deer, but nobody in my family hunts, so
What?
we don't.
That's so funny. You guys have a farm and you
I
raise
know.
everything, but you don't hunt.
We don't.
Would you
we don't
ever
hunt.
be interested?
It just seems like a lot of learning.
Yeah.
I have neighbors that hunt. I've had family members in the past that would hunt. And so we grew up getting venison every once in a while, and I love it. But yeah, none of us hunt, so probably should.
What about a pig? Would you ever raise a pig?
Yes. Oh, we have pigs.
Are you raising them to eat?
That is the goal. We're not there yet. This is a learning curve for us for sure. I didn't grow up. My parents weren't country people. They moved to Delaware from the city.
My gosh. And now look at them.
Right? Now they live
Now
in the
they live
country.
in a farm, right?
So they grew up, or we grew up on the property where we're farming now. But it was just, we had some backyard chickens. We got horses when I was in high school. So we were living the farm life. But we didn't know anything about growing our own food or providing for ourselves or why that was even important.
Right.
In 2017, I actually had some health issues that when we started digging into, when I was diagnosed, the doctor basically told me, we don't know what causes it and there's no cure. But here, you can take this medication for the rest of your life. And I'm like, well, I think I'd like another option. I'm going to do my own research. So we started learning then about a lot of household products,
Right.
how many strong chemicals were in them and things like that. And my mom had some issues too that she was like, I think I'm not going to use this on my skin anymore because look at my skin. And so we started going more natural and we were like, wow, this is kind of nice. And so the more you learn, the more you realize that rabbit hole is really deep. So then you start learning about your food, our food system in the USA. We did some traveling when we were younger and we realized overseas, the food is so much tastier. They just care about natural and homegrown so much more than we do. I just go grab it off the shelf and pop it open, throw the wrapper in the trash when I'm done. Done thinking about it. But they want like, no, that's trash. You want to eat fresh. Like, here's some fresh honey that my neighbor harvested. Here's some fresh yogurt that we made from the fresh milked cow we milked this morning,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is so different, but kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so we just started learning about how that actually is better for you. Like getting back to food the way that God created it, the way that God intended us to nourish our bodies, the food he created for us, actually just like brings health back in a lot of ways. I'm not saying that, it's perfect. We don't struggle with anything anymore, but it makes so much sense to me. And if you think about diet information, especially over the last like 20, 30 years, it's been so confusing, low fat, high fat, don't eat carbs. You need carbs. Your brain needs carbs. Like all these, you can find somebody to tell you whatever, like anything you want to eat, you can find somebody who's got a diet based on that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, you're the one who created our bodies. You're the one who said, here, I give you the plants. And then later in the Bible, he said, here, I give you all the animals. Eat. He's the one that created this system of us to take up nourishment from our food. What is it that you want us to eat? And if I can just get as close as possible to that, then I'm going to be doing good. It's not going to be perfect because this is not a perfect world. But, that's good enough for me. If I can just get as close as possible to the way he intended us to eat, I'm good with that.
And then you'll feel better too.
You do, yeah.
Because what you put into your body matters. I mean, it's like putting gas into a car.
Right. And I think it's honoring God with what he's given us. And I think real food is really good.
Really?
I think it's really good.
It's more fresh.
Yeah. And when you get off of the crap that we're all used to eating, like the cookies and the convenience foods, you start eating real food, your body starts craving real food, like fresh things, whole things. It's crazy.
Bryce and I, we were really big on watching what we ate, and we were trying to go more of like a natural route. I mean, not like we were growing our own food, but we were trying to be more fresh, like fresh veggies, fresh meat, and all that stuff. And when we were on that for so long, and then we would go to eat like Cheetos or something, you can literally taste the processed
and you feel how your body reacts to it. Like you feel how it makes your body feel, and it almost makes you not want it anymore. That's how I feel about a lot of things that I used to love.
Sugar is very, very addicting. And I have a big sweet tooth. You too?
Yes,
girl. And
absolutely.
So it's like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I need like something, like a something, and it's because we are on this vicious cycle of wanting that sugar.
Right.
I mean, I can't drink coffee without a bunch of creamer. And yeah, I think that's so amazing that you're growing your own food.
We're trying.
Teach
we're getting
me your
there.
Ways, sis. But I need to move out in the country first because I don't know if we're allowed to have chickens in our neighborhood.
You might not, but everybody can have a garden.
Yeah,
everybody can grow something, even if it's a pot on your deck.
I think we wanted to start. Bryce is more so into the cooking. I mean, I will do it, but Bryce enjoys it more. But I think we wanted to start low and slow and do herbs like basil, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have a green finger. Like I forget to water plants. So Bryce can't even buy me flowers.
Stick them on your deck, like right outside your door. So you see them every time you go in and out of the house.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hi, I'm here.
Can they get too much sunlight?
Herbs typically love sun.
So they can't really get too much.
No, probably not.
Okay. But they do. How often do you water like herb?
So the guideline is like an inch a week. That's just a general across the board. Things do best with an inch of water a week.
Okay.
So far since about March, we've gotten plenty of water. I've not had to water anything other than like I just planted this and I got to make sure it gets through till it rains. Like I'll water that in. But other than that, I've not had to water this year at all. Yeah. I mulch very heavily so it maintains soil moisture. But other than that, like, it's been a good year. Last year we had a very dry spring. Yeah. And so some of my stuff that I wasn't watering consistently enough kind of suffered. But I would say your herbs in a pot, water them a good soaking once a week and they'd probably be fine.
Once a week.
If it's a good deep pot that holds a lot of water,
maybe I can manage that.
You can manage that.
We'll see.
And then every time you have pizza, go pick some fresh basil from your pot and just throw it on your pizza while it's still hot, and it just browns right there on the hot pizza, and it's so good.
Oh, and you make your own dough.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
You do sourdough.
Do
What is the
sourdough. And we've recently started milling our own grain too.
what does that entail?
So if you're ready to go down the rabbit hole on this.
Wow.
So wheat
Mhm.
is it's a grain, and the part that we're eating is the seed head of the wheat.
Mhm.
And then they crush it, turn it into flour, but they sift out part of that. It's called the bran. And then they sell you the center part of it that is white and fluffy, and it bakes up so nice.
Mhm.
That's what's in your flour when you
Okay.
buy it off the shelf. So when you make something out of it, it's white flour because it's had all that bran taken out.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the bran is actually really nutritious. So it has the fiber, and it has a lot of the oils.
Mhm.
The germ is another part of the seed that ends up getting sifted out. That has vitamin E in it. And it's just a really nutritious whole grain product. So
Mhm.
that's why the doctor will tell you, oh, eat whole grains.
Mm.
But what
Wow.
most people don't know is that when you go grab the whole grain flour off the shelf, it's just white flour, and then they've added some of that bran back in.
Okay.
And it's just, whatever percentage is legal. So they can add a percentage back in, and then they can legally sell it as whole wheat.
I gotcha.
It doesn't mean it's whole as much bran
Right.
was originally there. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yes.
So also once you crush that seed, it starts to oxidize, and the nutrition in it, the vitamins that are in it,
Mhm.
start to oxidize out. So then you just have fiber and starch
Wow.
in that flour, even if it's whole grain.
How long does
So-
this process take?
To mill it,
Yeah.
like 3 minutes.
Really? It's that
I
fast?
have a little electric mill that sits on my counter, and I take the wheat berries, which is the grain itself,
Right.
dump it in the hopper, turn it on, it mills it into flour, and then I bake.
That is so
Mhm.
incredible.
And then it's fresh.
Yeah.
So it has all the nutrition that wheat is supposed to have in it.
Mhm.
It has everything that your body needs to process it. So a lot of people who have allergies to wheat
Mhm.
or gluten sensitivities can actually eat whole, freshly milled flour, like wheat flour.
So, like, people who are gluten-free, they could eat that?
Some people, yes.
Yeah.
If you're celiac, that's actually like I think it's a genetic issue.
Mhm.
Your body can't process gluten. And
Right.
so that milling it's not going to really help with that.
Mhm.
But some people who are gluten intolerant, like
Right.
they have sensitivities to it,
Mhm.
their bodies are actually reacting to what has been done to the flour, not the actual wheat itself.
See, which goes in hand with all the processed stuff.
Right.
That's crazy. And then
Yeah.
so you use that to make your sourdough.
I make sourdough, I make rolls, I make sandwich bread, pretty much any bread product that you would grab off the shelf, I make it at home instead.
Would you ever think about making sourdough or bread or anything and selling it at the farm?
To like sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot.
You should do
There's
it.
a lot of barriers to being able to do that kind of stuff, though, at least in Delaware.
Really?
So you can't legally sell things out of your own kitchen. There are cottage laws that allow you to sell certain products. Bread is not one of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Even if you like have
you have to, well, you have to get a business license, yes. And then you have to get your kitchen inspected. And depending on the product that you want to sell, you might have to get your turn in your recipe for approval.
I gotcha.
There's labeling laws that go
Right.
with it too. So there's some red tape,
Yeah.
some hoops you have to jump through in order
Yeah.
to do that.
And you're doing what
So-
God's calling you to do right now, which is teach people.
I do
How
think that is
to-
what God has led me to do right now.
Yeah. I mean, and in turn, what you're doing is you're teaching, because you do it for young children.
Mhm.
You're teaching young children on how to enjoy what God has
Right.
created for us.
Right. I think for the first time in human history, we are very disconnected from our food.
Yes.
I think even when I think back to probably my great-grandparents, probably raised their own food, or at least had a garden, or at least knew like where it came from. Even if they were buying their meat or buying their food, they were probably buying it from a local butcher or
Right.
from, the farmer down the street that produced this stuff. So I think for the first time in history, we truly can live our entire lives without knowing, how do we even get a hamburger? Like, how does it become a hamburger? And so I want to show kids, like, this is food. And there's a difference between real food and fake food.
Right.
And fake food is not good for your body, and real food is very good for your body. And real food actually tastes really good. And I think not everybody's, it's not everybody's going to make a change with that information.
Mhm.
But years down the road, 20 years down the road, maybe when they have children, they might remember, oh, yeah, I made bread in that one class. We could do this ourselves.
Right.
Because so many times we get trapped in this mindset of, oh, I could never do that.
Mhm.
But you haven't ever tried.
Mhm.
And so if I can show these kids, like, yeah, this is how you make bread, or this is how you raise a rabbit,
Right.
and this is what you can do with it, or this is how you grow a tomato, then that knowledge is going to stick with them.
Mhm.
Even if they don't do something with it right now,
Mhm.
they might in the future.
Well, just like your family came from the city,
Mm-hmm.
and now look what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your brother,
Same.
same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so incredible. I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, I guess research.
Just start with one thing. Like, what do you
Yeah.
like eating?
Ice cream.
So you might need a dairy cow.
Oh, man. Maybe. I think I was in the first grade. We made our own ice cream. I
Uh-huh.
mean, in school, and it was the coolest thing.
I bet it was.
It was really, really cool. Yeah, I felt like the coolest person ever.
Uh-huh.
But then I remember being so mind blown that salt was in ice cream.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "What?" So
Yeah.
sweet. But yeah, that was super fun. Now, how do you feel like do you need God's reminder every day and encouragement to get through your life of homesteading and homeschooling
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything else you have going on? Like, how do you think that what is one thing that you keep in mind through all of that?
It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
I definitely think that if you're going to do something worthwhile, you're going to be choosing to do something hard.
Mhm.
And I think that goes for anybody with whatever lifestyle that they've chosen.
Right.
If you're doing something worthwhile, it's going to be hard. And if
Mhm.
you're doing something for God, the enemy is going to try to step in and sidetrack you on that. And so when things get really tough, I just try to remember that I felt like God spoke to me. I remember after teaching homesteading classes, three or four cycles, I had done like a fall, spring, and a fall. And then I was thinking, do I even want to keep doing this? I don't have to keep doing this. Do I want to keep doing this? And I felt like God say that this was an investment
Mhm.
in the future, not just in my children, but in my community.
Mhm.
And and so when things get tough and dealing with people, there's always going to be
Mhm.
people who you don't make happy,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
Mhm.
And so when hard things come up, which they do, I just remind myself, like, this is the way I felt like God was pointing me to go. So I'm going to keep going until he says go somewhere else.
Mhm.
So, and that's for my children,
Mhm.
and it's for everybody who sets foot on my farm, and it's for everybody that they will impact themselves one day. So
Yeah.
we never know where God is going to take our service, the things we do for the Lord, the things we offer to him, our offerings to him. We never know where they're going to go, how
Mhm.
he's going to use them.
Mhm.
When you think about stories of generations past, those people that lived that story, they never knew your name.
Mhm.
They never knew how many people they were going to touch. They just followed what they felt like God was telling them to do.
Mhm.
And that's really cool. And I want to be one of those kind of people.
Yeah, because you truly never know who you're going to come into contact with, and if you help change just one person's lives,
Mm-hmm.
like if you following God's direction can help change one person.
Right.
I mean,
It was worth it.
yeah, and it's incredible. And I think that a lot of us are sometimes get scared to actually follow where God's telling us to go because we, as Christians, um, I guess you can say we battle with the culture, with
Mm-hmm.
like our society and
Mm-hmm.
the views today.
Expectations.
Yeah. Um, I mean, Christians are looked down upon
Mm-hmm.
often,
Mm-hmm.
um, in so many ways. And it's, you have to be, I think you rely on God there a lot
Yeah,
too, just
absolutely.
to keep you in a great mindset of, okay, God, like this is where I am and this is where you're wanting me to go. And I may not see
Mm-hmm.
it right now, but if I see it in a year or 2
Mm-hmm.
years, 3 years, or even just when we get to heaven,
Right.
just knowing that
Right.
We're faithful until the end.
Obedient.
Yes.
We have to be obedient. We have to be willing to be obedient even if it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even though there's hardships that get thrown at us, of course, the enemy's going to get in there.
Uh-huh.
He's going to get in there and try and destroy you if you're doing what God's telling you to do.
Yeah.
But God won't let him touch you. He can scare you all he wants, but
Yeah.
God is still there and he's still going to fight for you.
Yeah.
And, just like with you dealing with people who don't make happy sometimes. I mean,
Yep.
we live in a
You
world where,
cannot make everybody happy. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be.
and a lot of it sometimes has nothing to do with you. They just had a bad
Yeah.
day.
It's true.
Or, it's how they were raised, or they're uneducated on things, or,
Or they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And, you got to let people be people.
and that's where grace comes in.
Yeah.
Jesus gives us grace
Yep.
when we definitely don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And, if we are doing what God tells us to do, and we need to walk and be Christ-like. So we need to, no matter how hard it is, we need to extend that grace out to other people too.
Right.
I remember I had this encounter with this woman from Chick-fil-A. And she was really not nice. Really not nice. And I was just like, okay, it's okay. Like, okay, sis, I'm gonna sit here and pray for you because you're clearly having a bad day. And like, you don't know what's going on in someone's life. You don't know what they're going through that day or what they're going through in that moment.
Right.
But if you just kind of like really put God in the center of that, and kind of like shift your mindset, it's like, okay, well, instead of them being mean to me as a person, it's just like, what are they going through? Because they could have
Yeah.
just, you never know. I mean, how many situations have we been in where we're having a crappy day and we probably snapped when we shouldn't have?
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot to be said for being healthy enough in who you are and yourself to say, okay, I can see you're having a bad day. That's you. That's not me. I'm not going to take it personally. And, we'll just move on from this situation. Just kind of letting that go. I think we tend to take those kinds of things personally. Like, I can't believe she snapped at me. Did you hear how she was talking to me? And then we have to say something back. But yeah, just leave all that mess right there where you found it and walk the other direction.
Yeah. Because, you think about it too, like sometimes stop yourself or at the end of the day and think about, how did I represent God today? Did I represent him well today, or did I fall into society? We are, and being in the flesh, we sin, we are broken, we have all that stuff going on to us. And us being Christians doesn't change that either.
Very true.
And yeah, I mean, we are still human. So yes, we act out of character too. We let our emotions win. I see that more so for me and like the kids. I know that we should extend our grace and everything to our kids, but sometimes I'm just like, ugh, like, why? I don't know. You just get so frustrated, and you kind of have to like bring yourself back a little bit, because parenting is so hard. And yes, giving your kids grace, and also realizing that they don't have that the maturity yet. Like, they've only been on this earth for so long. Like, they don't know what we know because we've been here longer, and
Right.
the same wisdom. So it's hard to just be like, okay, this is what you should do, versus like really just reacting out of your emotion at that moment.
Yeah.
It's like being grounded.
I think a lot of times I have to go back and apologize to my kids
Oh, yeah.
for just expectations that I set that weren't fair, or things I said, or when I lost my temper. And I think that it's important as parents to, when you do realize that you've messed up, to apologize to your kids, just because they don't understand that it's you. Like, when we lose our temper, when we're short with them, they don't understand that it's me, it's not you. Like, they, as their parents, they see us as good, and they just go, well, then I must be bad. And so I think it takes a weight that they're not prepared to carry off of them when we just say, hey, I'm sorry, I lost my temper. Would you forgive me? And then they're just like, yeah, you're the best mommy ever. And I'm like,
no. Terrible. They are just so loving and so forgiving.
Yeah.
And so pure.
And we feel like as parents, we've got to be perfect. We've got to toe the line. We can't make mistakes. We can't mess up because then we're going to mess up our kids.
Mhm.
But we are going to make mistakes,
Mhm.
and probably a lot of the same mistakes over
Mhm.
and over and over and over again. But if we will just take a moment and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry I did that," or whatever.
Mhm.
I think it goes a long way to just lifting that weight off of them.
Mhm. And then they get over it in 2 seconds. Yeah, my biggest thing is, like, I don't ever want them to hear me in their head
Mhm.
yelling at them.
They will.
Yeah.
They will, no matter how hard you try.
I
They
know
will.
sometimes when I yell at them, I'm like, "Oh, I
They'll be
just."
like, "Oh my gosh, mom, I can't believe remember you would just say this all the time."
I know. I always say to them, I'm like, "What's my famous line that I say to you?" They're like, "Two wrongs don't make a right,"
Yes.
or, um, "Treat others how you wanna be treated," and I'm like, "Yeah."
My parents used to always say, you're gonna reap what you sow."
Ooh.
You're gonna reap whatever you sow, right? So the concept of whatever seeds you toss out there are gonna grow, and then they're gonna produce their own fruit.
Mhm.
And so that's always in my head. But then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to sow good seeds here. So at least when they're older, they'll give me some grace for the mistakes that I made.
And they will. I mean, kids are just so amazing. They're so amazing, but yes, it is so incredibly important to apologize to them and just let them know that, like,
It's
first
not
off,
you.
and
Yeah.
and they're not responsible for our emotions
Right.
and our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They're just little.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair. And I think that sometimes we do put that on them, like, and it's not their responsibility.
Right.
They're just, ugh, I love my kids. So you have 3.
Yes.
Okay. So how old are yours?
My oldest is 9.
Mm-hmm.
My middle is 5, almost 6.
Goodness.
I
Where's the
know.
time go? I remember when she was just like a little baby.
Uh-huh. And then my youngest is 1.5.
You're in the thick of it.
Uh-huh.
That 1.5, 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, um, there's like 4 years between each one of them, and we didn't plan it that way, but that's the way it happened. And it's been a blessing, but sometimes there's difficult days too because they are so spread out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my oldest is really helpful now. So
She's a little mama.
she is a little mama.
She's going to be a
9.
fierce leader.
I believe she's 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. In the midst of your entire lifetime, you were raised
Mhm.
in the church.
Mhm.
You continued to have God as such a big part of your life. Were there seasons of doubt where you were just like asking why
Mhm.
or, going through anything that you struggled with that you really, it made you question your faith at all?
Yeah, lots. Lots of times. Um, which one, what should I talk about? Um, gosh, I would say the darkest time that I've ever walked through is losing a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was your baby when you lost him?
He was 25 weeks and he was born premature. And it was very sudden, like it was not expected. Um, and it's been 6 years ago now.
Hmm.
Um, but it still hits like it was yesterday.
Right.
He was our second child. So it was between my oldest and my younger daughter. And I spontaneously went into labor for
And you
this
had a healthy pregnancy before
healthy
that?
pregnancy. Yep, my oldest was very, you know, um uneventful.
Hmm.
Everything was kind of as expected.
Hmm.
Um and yeah, went into labor with him and he was born like 3 hours later. It was so fast that they didn't even know it was happening.
Hmm.
And by the time they're like, "Oh, well, she's actually in labor." Like
Hmm.
he was out. And he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't developed enough to survive.
At 25
So,
weeks?
5 weeks, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely the darkest time I've ever walked through.
And did you go through that time being angry at God? Or were
Um,
you like, what was your emotions during that with him?
I definitely think there were moments of anger for sure.
Mhm.
But I think my overall emotion was just like it just felt like this dark cloud was hanging over me. Just it
Mhm.
felt very dark.
Mhm.
Just very, very dark. Um And I remember the thing that brought me courage was the scripture from Job. See if I keep my composure. The scripture from Job, you know, Job lost everything.
Right.
He lost his children, he lost his um everything he owned, um, and in tragic, tragic ways.
Mhm.
And his wife wanted him to curse God and just like, God's abandoned you. Like, just give up on God,
Right.
Like, he's not doing anything for you. Like, what are you even serving that guy for?
Mhm.
And the verse that was just echoing over and over in my head was Job's words that though he slay me, yet will I praise him.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Um, I felt like I didn't understand why it was happening.
Right.
I didn't understand what God was even gonna do with this, like,
Yeah.
I'm your child, I'm your servant.
Mhm.
You say that everything that goes on in my life is gonna work out for my good.
Right.
How?
Yeah. You couldn't see why that was happening.
Definitely not. Definitely
And,
not.
I mean, I don't know if you will really ever get that answer on why. I mean,
This side of heaven, probably not.
yeah.
But I will say that God has grown me so much through this situation. I would say that if I were walking through that experience without God, I would not
Mhm.
have survived.
Right.
I would not be alive today. I would have no hope, you
Right.
know? Um, that child was very much wanted.
And in turn with that, he blessed you with 2 more, and you have your little baby boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it just you love on your babies even more.
I do. I think I have an appreciation for how fleeting life is
You're right.
because I've lost someone. And I think anybody who has gone through a loss, especially if somebody young or somebody, when you lose your parents at a young age or something
Mhm.
like that, I think you just understand how much more fragile life is.
Mhm.
How, everything can just be gone in an instant.
Mhm.
Nothing is guaranteed to us.
Mhm.
Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so I want to live my life in a way that when my last day comes, whenever that is, whether it's tomorrow or whether I'm 80
Mhm.
or 90 or more, I would love, to be here that long and see my grandchildren, my great grandchildren that far in the future. But when that last day comes, that I won't say, "Man, I wish I'd done this differently or that differently, or I wish I hadn't spent so much time on things that didn't matter,
Mhm.
but I'd spent time with my children or building relationships with people that mattered." And, um, yeah, I think about that a lot, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times, again, going in with the busyness of life, we just roll in and just assume that things are gonna be
Yeah.
exactly the way that they are next week as they are
Mhm.
today, and that's not the case.
Yes, but God is good. God says that he is close to the brokenhearted.
Mhm.
And he was very close to me in that situation. I would wake up in the middle of the night, just days after he'd passed. Um, I would wake up and just coming out of sleep and into awareness, just feeling that cloud just come down and descend over me,
Mhm.
and just crying out to the Lord and just saying, God, rescue me. No matter what happens, I'm going to serve you. No matter what this is, I'm going to serve you. Um, if this kills me, I'm going to serve you.
Mhm.
Um, and he was so present in those moments. And, a lot of the moments we were talking about as moms, how like you're just so busy, you can't find God.
Mhm.
When you are walking through such a dark time, he is right there.
Mhm.
It's like he's just like you turn around and like, oh, he is right here.
Right.
You feel him so much more present.
Yeah.
And I will never forget what that felt like
Mhm.
to to feel like I was walking through that situation with God.
Do you think that um do you think that going through that situation made you and God closer in general?
Yes, I would definitely say that. I would say it's grown me a lot.
Yeah.
A few weeks after he passed, and I journal. I have always journaled a lot,
Mhm.
but I journaled a lot through that time too. And so it's a real blessing to be able to go back and look at kind of like where God was leading me at the time.
You go back and read them from then?
I sure
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I love to. Um, but a few days after he passed, um, I remember thinking, if I had this to do over again, like if I could choose to bring him back,
Mhm.
he wouldn't want to come back.
Mhm. Because heaven's way better than here.
Right. How could I ask for that?
Yeah. We live in a broken world, and heaven's perfect.
And to be honest, I wouldn't have given up the closeness that I experienced with the Lord in that
Mhm.
time either.
Right. It changed you in ways that I'm sure you didn't want it to change you, but also in ways that you're glad that it did.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
But the Lord, he sees the fruit that is going to come out of things,
Mhm.
and I trust that someday, whether it be here on earth or in heaven, I'll understand,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
I'll understand.
And JoJo was
JoJo was 3. She was almost 4.
does she remember it at all or
She
not?
does.
Does
Yeah,
she?
she talks about it quite a lot.
Does she?
Mhm. Yeah.
In a like, what is her memory of it?
So all of my family came to the hospital and was
Mhm.
able to hold him and meet him.
Mhm.
Um, and that was a real treasure for us,
Yeah.
that we had that time as a family. So my parents were there, my sister was there, my brother and his wife were there, and they brought JoJo,
Mhm.
and she didn't understand what was going on,
Mhm.
but just her joy was infectious, and it was
Yeah.
just a ray of sunshine through the
And
whole situation.
kids are just so magical for that. You
Mhm.
know, they save us more than they think that, like as much as they think of us as parents, they have no
Uh-huh.
idea how many times that they save us.
Right.
I mean, even just a hug from them.
Uh-huh.
You could be having the worst day and just a hug from them
Yeah.
or a snuggle, just like our youngest, Blair. She is a wild. When I say wild, I want you to think of what was his name, Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. Like that's your visual. Um, but man, just as wild as she is sweet. And she gives
Mhm.
the best hugs.
Hugs.
Like it could make any bad day just go
Uh-huh.
away. And she puckers her lips up real big.
Aw.
Kiss, a good kiss. And it is so cute. And it's like those little things that you see God in
Mhm.
that give you hope.
Yeah. It makes it all worth it.
Yeah. Even when you go through it. Now to in a lighter note, I don't want you to be upset anymore. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Um what is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to you during church?
One of the funniest things that's
Yes.
ever happened to me during church?
Yes.
Um, okay, so, can I tell you a story from when I was little?
Yeah.
Because my dad tells this story. Um, so, as a kid, I was probably JoJo's age, so maybe like 8 or 9.
Mhm.
Um, you're sitting in church and you're just so bored.
Mhm.
And your parents might tell you like, "Oh, listen and see if you learn anything."
And then quiz you when you get in
Or
the car,
or
right?
take notes, or like, they're offering all these suggestions. They did
Right.
not let us bring toys to church at all. And I can't remember if there was a Sunday school service or not, but there must not have been at this point because I was in the church. And I remember on like the weekly brochure that everybody got when they came in the door, you turn it over and there was like notes,
Mhm.
space to write notes on the back. And I remember them standing there and I'm listening or sitting there and listening to the pastor preach. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to take notes. You know, and he just kept praying. Like every time he would like make a statement, teach a little point, and then he'd be like, "Let's pray," and he would pray, and then he'd go on with his sermon, and then he'd be like, "Let's pray," and he would pray, and I just thought that was the funniest thing. And so I'm like, taking notes, and I'm like, we're blah, blah, blah. Let's pray. And I'm like, wait, I shouldn't say blah, 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 because that sounds rude.
You
It
wrote
sounds
down
like
blah, blah, blah.
I did.
You are so funny.
So I wrote down blah, 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 let's pray. And then I realized, like, blah, 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 it sounds rude. It sounds like I'm saying he doesn't, it's just blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I crossed it out and I wrote words, words, words. My dad found my notes after church and showed the pastor.
When you pass a note in school back in the day, and then they're like, "Oh, hand that to the teacher." Oh my gosh, that's mortifying. I bet your pastor laughed. Yeah.
They had a kick out of it. Yeah.
Wow.
But I've never lived that one down.
Wow, that is so funny. Our thank God our pastor is like one of our really good friends. I remember Brooks. He had went up to our pastor and just said something so out of
No.
control, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, did you just say?" So when you're kids, the craziest stuff happens.
Right.
I mean, you can't help it, but that's what makes it funny because they don't understand. You didn't understand. At least you were respectful and said words, words, words.
I was trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it came off that way.
I'm sure he appreciated it.
Do you ever have one of those kids, though, that like their mouth is a loose cannon and
Brooks.
you're afraid that they're just going to go off in the wrong environments?
Yes. We if like somebody's babysitting them for us, or was like, "Oh man, I wonder what they said today."
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Sunday school.
Yeah.
Their Sunday school teacher came to me and told me one Sunday, just so you know, there's no secrets in church. When we ask for prayer requests, your kids pray for everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy.
No, really. Don't
really,
judge me.
have mercy, please.
No, they have no filter, and that's what makes it so funny and so like pure too. Like they just don't understand. It's so funny. You all got to have it. You know what? Don't take life so seriously. You know?
I'm still scared.
No, I know. Anytime our kids are with somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh. Or like, we'll be like, oh no, what did they go to school and say? Well, you don't have to worry about that because you're their principal, right?
Yeah, I'm everything. I'm their teacher, their principal,
their nurse, their cook,
their PE supervisor.
PE supervisor.
Home ec instructor.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, one little silly one. If you were to go to coffee with one of the characters from the Bible, who would you choose and why?
I think I would choose Noah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
My family's been on a kick about like Genesis recently, like the early history of the earth and just imagining the world before the flood and what that would have looked like. Like I'm kind of sciencey. I'm kind of a science nut. A nerd is a good word for it. And I love listening to scientists who are kind of decoding what they think the world looked like before the flood, like looking at the rock layers in the Grand Canyon and everywhere in the world, actually, not just the Grand Canyon, but mountains all over the world have these layers. And they were all laid down by water and they've got all these fossils in them. And so they're kind of like piecing the story together about what the world looked like before the flood. It is. It's so cool. And so, yeah, I think I would just pick Noah's brain about like
everything.
Noah, it wasn't Adam. Noah lived long enough that he would have been able to talk to or was it his grandfather was Methuselah, and he lived long enough that he would have been able to talk to Adam. So I know, right? Like when you look at the ages of how people lived, if you like sketch out that timeline, like Adam lived almost 1,000 years, right?
Oh my gosh.
So they would have known each other. Like Noah would have known many of his great-great-grandparents. And so just can you imagine the stories that would have come from those elderly great-great-grandparents sitting around the fire, like, oh, great-grandpa Adam, like, tell us a story about the Garden of Eden. Like, wouldn't that just have been so cool?
Yes.
So I don't know. I nerd out about that stuff.
No, that's so cool, though.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I love to hear the science version of it, and then, like, what the Bible says, too. There is, what state is that in? Missouri, maybe Mississippi. I don't know. One of those states. It's like I don't remember where it is, but anyway, they have a big Noah's Ark.
It's Kentucky.
I knew it was a random state. um, but yeah, and it has like all of it. It's how big
Right.
the ark actually
Right.
was.
That's
And
really cool. I want to take my kids there.
I
We were going to go
know.
this summer, but we had some other things pop up. So we're going to plan to do a road trip out there next summer.
How far is the drive?
It's like, I think it's like 9 hours, 8 or 9 hours, something like that.
Not
It's
terrible.
not that. It's not bad. It's not bad.
That would
And
be so
we'll
incredible.
truck out there for a couple days and then we'll camp and stuff and then we'll come back. So
Yeah. I mean, do you ever think about on the ark too? Like there was 2 of every animal. Like
yes.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
There was 2 lions. Like wait,
and dinosaurs.
I was just gonna ask you. What about dinosaurs?
Yeah, I think they were on the ark.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do. But I think Noah was probably smart enough to bring like small dinosaurs, like babies,
To eat?
baby dinosaurs.
To eat. You think anybody ate each other?
I don't know. They were on there for a year, maybe. If there were only 2, though, then probably not because they would have had to survive to procreate. So
How did he feed them?
I think the Bible said for him to bring food with them. Another reason why I think they were baby animals because they eat a lot less. Could you imagine feeding like a
T-Rex,
a big old dinosaur like this? Like, how are you going to carry that much food? But yeah,
and how they all fit.
The cool thing about like creation science is there are so many scientists. Like we're talking about PhDs here, like not Christians that do science. These are like scientists that have defended their dissertations to their peers, non-Christians as well, who believe that the earth was created by God and that there was a global flood. And they're the ones out there doing this frontline science, making all these discoveries. It's just not reported. Like PBS isn't going to do a special on it.
Again, and I think that has to do with the society because religion is such a touchy topic for so many people.
Right. Yeah. So it's really cool. If you follow some of those scientists, all their stuff's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just Google like young Earth creationism and all these scientists will pop up. And it's just cool to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And nerd out on that.
And get sucked in for a few hours and just keep going and going and going.
I hope like one of my kids will be a scientist or something so they can live this dream.
Who do you think it would be?
Probably Hope.
Really? I was really thinking JoJo.
No, I think JoJo's she's gonna be in the nurture department. Yeah. One of her dreams that she's been talking about for a while now is she wants to open an orphanage.
Love that. Maybe Brooks will go in with her. He wanted to be a vet for a very long time.
That was one of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a vet.
Yeah, but then he couldn't take the thought of seeing a hurt animal.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's so special.
Yeah. So JoJo wants to open an orphanage. And so Pablo and I are talking like, how do we even guide her in that? Like, what kind of education does she need?
You know what I would do? Maybe just find some resources in like locally that she could go and ask questions. Let her go and ask the questions. And just start that up. That's probably a nonprofit, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also maybe doing some mission work in the future would be good experience.
You did missions for a little while, didn't you?
Yes, my husband and I both did. We kind of met in that arena.
Where did you go?
So we partook in a program called the World Race, which is through AIM, Adventures in Missions, out of Georgia. And it's an 11-month mission journey. So you go for almost a year. And you just kind of country hop. They send you to different ministries around the world that are doing ministry in their country, and you just kind of serve their ministry for a month. So you might be working with kids, you might be working in an orphanage. Some of the really cool places that we went, we were in a kids camp, but we were there in the off season when there weren't kids. So we were like doing building projects and stuff. And we stayed in a worship school for young men who are training to be worship leaders.
Okay.
That will get sent out into churches around the country. Some really cool opportunities. We met a lot of really neat people that are doing the hard work. I think it's as short-term missionaries, we have it pretty easy.
Mhm.
We're going, we're encouraging, we're serving, we're giving, and then we come home.
Mhm.
We take a lot from that too. Like
Right.
we're built up, our faith is built up and blessed. But the missionaries who are staying there,
Mhm.
or the national people that are staying there, the pastors, the people who work there, I think that they face a lot of discouragement.
Mhm.
They're living that life day in and day out, especially missionaries, because they're coming from a different culture into
Right.
another culture. So they can deal with culture shock and all kinds of other things going on.
Mhm.
And so for us to come in and support them is a real blessing. It's kind of like a refreshing.
Mhm.
We can pray together and share resources, and it was a real blessing for Pablo and I to have that opportunity. It changed our worldview big time.
Wow.
Changed our worldview.
That's amazing. I think it's so brave to learn a new culture, go over there, and then, no matter how long you were there, you make a difference. I mean,
I
because you're
agree.
helping build, and that building you helped
Hmm.
make.
Yeah.
Um, that's so incredible, and that's God's work.
Yeah. To lift each other up, to build
Mhm.
each other up. It's important, I think, to
And just
be
to give them a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, to be sowing into people who are boots on the ground doing mission work in other countries.
Mhm.
They need our encouragement. They need our support. They need our
Mhm.
prayers.
Mhm.
And it's easy for us to get disconnected from them here
Mhm.
because we're living different lives. And
Right.
so if our churches can send teams over that can sow in their time, sow in their finances, sow in their physical labor,
Right.
um, then we bring home pictures,
Mhm.
we bring home stories,
Mhm.
we bring home testimonies,
Mhm.
and that encourages believers at home
Mhm.
and encourages them to be aware of what's happening around the world and to be praying for that and to
Mhm.
be sowing and giving into that as well.
Mhm.
So it blesses both.
Mhm. Amen.
It's really cool. I highly recommend, especially for young people. I started going on short-term missions when I was 13,
Mhm.
and the first place I ever went was to Nicaragua.
Oh,
I
wow.
had never been out of the country before. I'd never flown on an airplane.
Wow.
I'd never had a passport before. And here I was dropped in a very different, very tropical, very poor world, and got to rub shoulders with people who love Jesus and are happy and are serving God
Mhm.
and are so like living such a different life than me,
Mhm.
have nothing compared to what I have.
Mhm.
And yet they're worshiping the same God that I am.
Mhm.
They're serving the same God that I am. There's something that connects us
Mhm.
about that. And I remember when the plane took off to bring me home and my team, I remember literally feeling like I was being ripped in half and part of my heart was staying in
Wow.
that country. And I've been able to go to, gosh, I don't even think I've made a count, but probably 30
Wow.
other countries, maybe 20 other
That's
countries.
incredible. I have a friend who is leaving tomorrow on a mission trip. It's her first one
Yay. Oh,
for
good.
about a week.
That's awesome. Where's she going?
Dominican,
Okay.
I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And sweet. I was talking to her mom, and I was like, "How are you feeling about this?" And she was like, "Well, it's been on her heart for a very long time,
Uh-huh.
and she's still very on fire for it. So it's cool to see her actually go." And I said, "Are you expecting her to want to go longer and go back?" She said, "Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah." It's something. She said it's
definitely.
something about when you go,
Mhm.
you just want to keep going back and keep
Yeah.
serving.
It's life-changing, and I think you
Mhm.
can see God when you step out in faith like that,
Mhm.
because it does require faith.
Mhm.
It requires faith that you're gonna be okay. It
Mhm.
requires faith that you can even raise that amount of money that it costs to go.
Mhm.
Um, that's, been huge for me over the last 25 years since I started doing short-term missions. Just having faith that when God says, "Okay, I want you to go. I want you to go to Haiti."
Yeah.
What?
Excuse me? What did you say?
It costs what?
Yeah. Are you sure? You got the
And
wrong
I'm gonna
person.
I'm gonna provide everything that you need. And he
Mhm.
has. Like never once have I had to come home early because God didn't provide what I
Yeah.
needed. And it's changed my worldview and it's grown my faith
Mhm.
so much. And I think I would encourage any young person, and I'm sure there's young people that any age, it doesn't even you don't even have to be young. You could be young at heart. But I think especially for me as a teenager, like it changed the way that I saw the world around me,
Right.
and it grounded me, and it grounded me in Christ so
Mhm.
much. Um, I see so many teenagers and young adults kind of floating through life with no purpose.
Mhm.
Like like life is just about getting that job so you can afford that house and that car
To
and
make it to the next day.
right, and just
Mhm.
chasing that next level, whatever that next level is.
Mhm.
Um, and going on a mission trip, it showed me that I have all these blessings. I have so many things, and they're just extra things. Like they're not necessary things.
Mhm.
And they're a lot of them are good,
Mhm.
but I don't need them.
Mhm.
What I need is God.
Mhm.
I need a relationship with God because I can have the nicest car, the nicest house, the best life, the best job, all the money I want, be able to do whatever I want. But if I don't have a purpose for my life, it amounts to nothing.
And you can't take it with you.
You're not going to take any of it with
Mhm.
you. And people leave it behind. Like,
Mhm.
why do you think suicide is such a huge thing in our culture right now?
Mhm.
We have everything
Mhm.
and it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We don't have purpose.
Mhm.
We don't have a relationship with the creator of our soul.
Mhm.
We so badly want to believe that we're in control
Mhm.
and that it's just about us. It's
Mhm.
just about what I can get. But it's an empty way to live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you have to really think of it again, like what you're doing on this earth.
Mhm.
You may not see it today, tomorrow, in a year,
Right.
3 years, but you're going to see it at the end.
Right.
You're going to see it when you meet those gates.
Mhm.
That's when you're going to see, and that makes it all worth it
Yeah.
because that's our eternity. This earth is not our eternity.
Right. It's not our home.
Nope.
We're
It's
just
just,
passing through.
I was just going to say that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with anybody listening? Any scriptures to hold on to? Anything on your mind?
Um, I would just say that wherever you find yourself, just apply your whatever God has given you, wherever He's placed you, apply your whole self to fulfilling the full purpose of whatever He is trying to guide you toward.
Hmm.
Because, I've had dreams, I've had goals, and some of those I've chased and I've met, but a lot of them kind of fell by the wayside as I pursued the Lord. And I would say I look back now on my life and I can really see, wow, God was preparing me. I don't see the full picture, no, but a lot of the steps that I've gone through in my life, I see, wow, God was getting me ready for what he's having me do right now. And you don't know where God's going to take you, and I guarantee you he's going to take you to cooler places than you can think of for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So just do the thing that's in front of you and be faithful and trust God with the rest.
Amen. Amen.
Leave
Well,
it up to
thank
him.
you for being here. I appreciate your time, your vulnerability, your heart, your wisdom. It's always a joy.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right.